Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to attempt to cut my own hair, so let's get into it. Before we start, I just want to point out that last week I made a video on supporting the BLM movement. This is ongoing and we need to continue our support for them every day. Now, of course, donations and protests are a wonderful way to help. But you can also help the movement through reflecting on your own bias and standing up for those around you. And please check out that video for other ways to educate yourself and support the movement. Alright, now back to our regularly scheduled programming. I have not had my hair cut in a year and a half, and as you can see, it's starting to get a little poofy and Hermione Granger-esque. And you might be wondering why I am just now jumping onto the quarantine self-haircut thing, now that salons are reopening. But I have two reasons for this. One is that I do think that we should maintain quarantine for a little bit longer. And I really want to support local businesses and I don't want them to shut down, and I want to save our local shops and shop owners. However, I also worry that by reopening so soon, and it may not seem soon to many people, but I do think that because COVID is still out there, it is still infecting people, it is still moving quickly, this is quite soon, and what could happen is a second wave of infections, which would then shut down businesses for even longer. And that could really be a death sentence for many places. So I know quarantine sucks, but I personally believe that it is the best option right now to maintain quarantine for just a little bit longer. My second reason for trying to cut my hair myself is that I really hate trying to find a new hairstylist. Now, I had a wonderful hairstylist for about 10 years, and she really knew me, she knew my hair, she knew how to cut my hair, and it was fantastic. But she decided to follow another career path, which I fully support, but now I get to find another hairstylist that suits me and suits my hair, and I've been putting it off for like 2 years. Yeah. So it's time to have my hair cut, and I just figured we're quarantined, I might as well try it myself. If it goes badly, then I'm quarantined, there's really no problem, I can grow it back out, whatever. And I'm only giving myself a little trim, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And if it goes well, then this might be something that I can keep doing for myself and save myself some money. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop in the shower and wash my hair because it's a little gross and I need my hair wet, and then we can get started. Alright, I think we are ready to go. My hair is obviously wet. I also have a spray bottle to keep it wet because I definitely need to keep it as weighed down as possible to keep some of my curls out. I have a multitude of brushes. I have scissors and a hair razor, and I purposely bought hair cutting scissors and razor for this because I thought it would be the best way to get the best result possible. If it goes badly, then it goes badly, but I thought these would help make it go less badly. I have a whole bunch of hair bands, and I also picked up these massive hair bands because I break hair bands daily. So I thought maybe I should get some massive ones, and these are awesome. They're industrial. Though I don't think I'll be using them for this today because I'm gonna be doing small sections. I don't need the massive hair bands. But I just thought I'd share them with you. Oh, and I have a mirror that is dirty, but never mind that. So, I guess it's time to get started. I'm gonna start by brushing out my hair and then sectioning it off. and we'll go from there. Also, I have a bikini top on because I know that my hair is going to continue to drip, and I just thought that would be the best option. Alright, so I'm just trying to make sure that these ties are even so that when I cut it, it will be even. And now comes the hard part. I get to try and do this on the back. I'm going to try to separate the back into 4 sections just because I have so much hair, it's going to be hard to cut it if I only separate it into 2 sections. And then I'm going to try to keep them all even, so it's going to be a lot of mirror work. However, I will say that I think I'm actually going to try for a more curved look in the back where it dips a little lower, because that definitely helps with the more 1940s hairstyle. I'm scared. Alright, so a few things. This would obviously be a lot easier with another person. I also wouldn't recommend, if you are cutting your hair at home, using thicker hair ties. This is all I had, but the more like kind of rubber band hair ties would definitely be better. But I hate those. So I purposely decided to not do that. It might be a bad decision. Also, if I hadn't mentioned this, this is not a tutorial. Don't take it as such. So now I have all the ties in. I think they're in good places. I guess I can go ahead and start cutting. I am going to be taking off about 4 inches. It has been a couple years since I got my hair cut, so I think it is needed. It is also summer, so having a little bit less hair will be nice. So, here we go. All right, let's see how this is. I got some long bits over here that I'm gonna just gonna chop off. I'm kind of afraid to like move my feet because there's hair everywhere. Alright, I don't think it looks horrible, so I'm gonna keep going and add in some layers because I desperately need layers. Well, I'm definitely gonna need another shower after this. I feel like I'm giving myself like a super 90s spiky pixie cut. Yeah. And everything itches. Okay. Alright, I think I'm done. It doesn't look horrible wet, so hopefully it doesn't look horrible dry. But I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the hot mess that I've made. I think I'm gonna take another shower and get all this hair off of me, and then we'll dry it and see what happens. Yeah, hot mess. Super excited. Alright, so that's about as much blow drying as I usually do, just because I want to get some extra some extra moisture out so it doesn't drip everywhere, and then I just air dry it because I prefer that. So I'm gonna go ahead and let it air dry. Kind of feeling like Aragorn right now, which I'm not upset with. So I'm gonna just let it do its thing and I'll check in with you guys later. Alright, so here is my hair dry. It's obviously not styled, but this is kind of how I wear it nowadays, just because I'm lazy and quarantine has just kind of made me more lazy. But I will tell you that I'm actually quite happy with the haircut. It's not the best haircut I've ever had, but I can also say that it is definitely not the worst either. I do think I went a little overboard with the layering, but it'll grow out. I'm not super worried about it. And honestly, I think it's really good for summer weather because my hair can be a little toasty. So having less hair around my neck area is definitely a benefit for this time of year. I will also say that now that it's shorter, I can go back to doing some of my vintage curls. I've been really bad at doing my curls lately, and that's partly because my hair was getting a little too long and my sets just were uncomfortable and they weren't setting well. I would try to get it into a set and I was having to put more and more foam rollers in because my hair was getting too long and too thick, and then I couldn't sleep in it, and then when I would take it out the next morning, it just would kind of fall out. Like my hair was too heavy to hold the roller set. So now that it's shorter, I can go back to doing some of my vintage curls and I can show you guys what that looks like soon. So if you are stuck in quarantine or wish to continue your quarantine and you are so sick of your hair and you need to chop it off, then I say go for it. But please follow some tutorials, go into it with an understanding of what you want and where you're headed. Don't take that much off, and get the proper tools because that will definitely help give you a better cut than trying to cut your hair with sewing scissors. Don't do that. Have an idea of how you're going to feel if it does go badly, and if you're willing to risk that. For me personally, I felt like I'm stuck at home, it's getting hot outside, and the hair situation wasn't making that any better. My hair was getting a little gross, my ends were getting a little gross, and I wanted to try to cut it myself. And I knew that if it went badly, then I could just grow it out and try again later on. So that was my own thought process going into this, and I think it's really important to have that conversation with yourself if you're thinking about cutting your own hair. Alright, I hope you enjoyed going on this adventure with me today. Please leave a comment below, like this video, or even subscribe. Stay safe, stay sane, and stay healthy, and I'll see y'all next time.